what people are calling dilution is got to be one of the smartest moves I've seen by a company in a long time, because it is a form of dilution, but it's not in the same way that people are thinking it is. And the more money that AMC stock sells for, more money that Goldman sells the AMC stock for, the 50 million shares, the more money that Goldman and AMC are both going to make.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding from the word.
What's up, everybody? It's Shamsa the Best coming at you with another video. And man, let me tell you something. To the person that sent me this video by Boss Blunts and asked me to review it, please don't send me no more shit by this man. Alright, I cannot stand him. He is a 2-bit con artist who lies in every video to his people. He is a yes-tard who convinced shareholders that a reverse stock split and conversion was going to be great for us. And we'll see how that turned out. And the phase 6, and the 4, and the phase 7, and the imminent. And then imminent don't mean now. Imminent could mean 2 years from now. Bullshit that this man spews. And now he's come out with a video talking about the 50 million share offering by Goldman, and he's trying to explain it. And let me tell you something, people. He is lying to your face. Everything he said explaining this Goldman deal was a lie, because he claims to know what he's talking about. And therefore, if you claim to know what you're talking about, then I don't want he was wrong on one aspect, because he's not wrong on one aspect. He's wrong on every single aspect that he's convinced, looking down here, that 8,500 people have watched his lie. And it breaks my heart. And I have to do the video to expose him and tell y'all, quit following this con man. Please. And quit giving him your money. Because I know about the lit exchange too. And if people are stupid enough to give this man their money for something called the lit exchange, where he's going to outdo Ken Griffin, when Fidelity had to buckle to their knees to Ken Griffin and finally become payment for order flow if they were going to get their orders filled. But Boss Blunts has got some of y'all convinced that he can beat Ken Griffin. He's going to go to the lit exchange with your shares. It'll never happen. You're just going to be another statistic that we read about in the newspaper that tells us that this con was pulled on retail investors, and they're going to get him because they don't let people like us in their clubhouse. And that's what he's convinced people that, oh yeah, we're going to have an exchange and we're going to... Listen, that's their clubhouse. And if you get in their clubhouse, they let you in. And if they let you in, there's got to be a pretty goddamn good reason for them to have let you in, because they don't let outsiders inside their club. So use common sense and think about what this man says. Now listen to some of the clips about what he's talking about, and then I'm going to take you to the documents and I'm going to show you and explain to you how what he's saying is bullshit and show you with the truth. All right?
A lot of people
so
out
watch
there
this.
Shilling, claiming that AMC is selling the shares to Goldman Sachs. In a way, that's correct, but that's only half the story. And for every dollar, for example, if that floor is $4 a share, and AMC receives $200 million minimum up front, which is what's happening. They're basically receiving cash up front, and then if Goldman sells the shares for more in the future, AMC is going to receive more money.
First off, people, this is what's called a forward agreement. I'm going to show you the Antar contract that they had, It was a forward agreement. And the Goldman deal that they have, which is a forward agreement. Goldman Sachs did not give AMC $200 million up front, which is what he just said that they did, and he's convincing people that they got it for around $4 a share and 50 million shares, so AMC got $200 million up front. Bullshit.
For every dollar, basically, over $4 that AMC stock sells for by Goldman, there's the potential for AMC to make about 50 million more. So currently, let's say they received 200 million from Goldman at $4 a share with a floor. If they were to sell all those shares for an average of $5 a share after the 50 million shares were bought on the open market, then AMC would receive an extra $50 million. If they were to have an average of $6 a share, then AMC would receive another $50 million on top of that. So the initial $200 million that AMC got, and an additional $100 million on top of that. So if they sold for an average of $7 a share, AMC would receive the initial $200 million plus $150 million more.
What kind of math is that? I know redneck math, and that ain't it. And that's got to be what's called market maker math. All right, AMC's got $200 million, and when Goldman Sachs finally gets around to selling the shares, AMC's going to get a cut of that, each bit of that sale. And so, man, are you crazy? People, let's just get down to it. Let me explain to y'all what's going on, and just understand every word that leaves that man's mouth is a lie. All right, now let's take a look at the filing. Now, the first thing you're going to want to notice about this prospectus, because everybody's focusing on the fact that it's a forward agreement with AMC and Goldman Sachs, but slow down. It's both an at-the-market offering and a forward agreement. AMC told Goldman Sachs they want to sell 50 million shares of AMC, and AMC don't give a damn if it's on the market, in the dark pools, wherever they can sell the shares. Goldman Sachs can sell the shares. Or Goldman Sachs can enter into a forward agreement with AMC and purchase the shares at a certain price at a certain time in the future. Okay? But that does not mean Goldman Sachs gets all these shares. Because notice right here in the statement it says, we may also from time to time during the term of the sales and registration agreement enter into one or more forward transactions, which means they can split this up into 5 different forward transactions with 5 different short sellers and give 5 different short sellers 10 million shares of AMC. Or they can give 10 million shares to 5 different people, and then they have 10 million shares of AMC now that they can short into the market. All right, it does not mean Goldman Sachs is getting all of these shares, but here's what it's boiling down to, people. The shares never leave AMC's possession. It's not like Boss Blunts is lying to his followers and telling them that AMC is going to get $200 million up front, and then after that, increments of whatever they sell this price at. That doesn't even make sense if you understand how this is working. All right? Follow the bouncing ball here, and you're going to understand exactly the con that has been played on us and what is going on right now with the stock price. Okay, people? First, the shares are in AMC's vault, but Goldman has a forward agreement that says those shares belong to them at a time in the future, whatever the price is going to be. It might be $5 at the time they decide they want these shares. And that's what they would pay, but that's not how it's going to go. The way it's going is Now that they have signed the forward agreement, the shares belong to Goldman Sachs, even though they have not purchased them. They're earmarked over here, and they said, these are Goldman Sachs. And now Goldman Sachs can use those shares as collateral, or they can short the shares themselves, or they can loan the 50 million shares to other people so that they can short the stock. All right, now here's the rest of how Boss Blunt's bullshit gets exposed. Remember, he said that AMC would get $200 million if it's around $4, and at $5 they'll get another $50 million, and $6 they get another $50 million, and $7 they're going to get an AMC will get another extra $150 million. We're going to be rich. Bullshit. Here's what happened. They entered into a forward agreement with AMC. They sold those 50 million shares short now, and they pushed the price down through all that selling pressure. Now, what does Goldman have to do? They have to buy AMC shares. Where are they going to get them? From AMC. At the deflated price after they've already sold the 50 million into the market. See? And then Goldman takes those 50 and they cover those short positions with it. There is no more transactions of money. Period. He's full of shit. He's lying to y'all. All right? If he's such a financial guru that can put together a lit exchange to beat King Griffin, and he can't figure out how a forward agreement is working, they're going to have to use the 50 million shares to cover what they're shorting now. And that's how it's working. All right? Now, there's a whole lot of other things that could go on too, people. But that's most likely the scenario, is that once the forward agreement was entered into with Goldman Sachs and or whoever, because they said one or more forward transactions, they sold those shares short, and soon they're going to need those 50 million shares to cover those positions at a lower price. Therefore, this is not some genius plan of Adam Aaron's. It put the dick to retail again. So with that, love y'all. Be blessed. See you in the next video.
So, long story short, what Adam Aaron and the board of directors did with AMC stock in their deal with Goldman Sachs is nothing short of genius.